Okay, please take out your tiles. Make sure that you guys finish with craftsmanship. Write your first name, last name, class period with a needle tool. Just scratch that into the back. Make sure that you have all your craftsmanship done before you do that. And then you'll slow dry. So when you lay it on your shelf, you're just gonna lay it down. You're gonna take a bag and you just lay it over the top. Don't put it in the bag because clay, when it dries, it tends to warp. So we wanna slow dry with a bag on top of it. Make sure you double check the requirements that are on the board before you finish. If you guys don't finish it, you can come in the morning, you can take it home, but just keep it bagged. And then when you're done with your tile, if you were gone on Friday, go into Canvas, go to Friday, and then look at our hollow forms. So remember, we're starting hollow form sculpture practice, and this is kind of the end game for this. So we want to look at how we're attaching hollow forms together and making them as stable as possible. So the directions for the hollow form, if you guys have not started it, you're following the practice directions from Friday. So you're going to go through these. It goes through step by step, gives you examples. Make sure you blow dry as you go, medium ribbon tool, thin ribbon tool. Make sure that you keep this area that you're going to score and slip together at 3/16 of an inch. The rest of it, we're trying to get to 1/8 of an inch. And then to get these as thin as possible, you just barely scrape the surface when we're trying to remove the clay. So we're trying to get it as thin as possible, but not poke through the surface. Then when you get the two forms, your cube and your sphere, so the cube is going to be the exact same directions, only instead of a sphere, it's a cube. You still slice it in half and you still hollow it out. Once you have those two forms made and attached together, then you're going to attach these. On Friday, I didn't give you directions on how to do that. Today I am. So if you go back into modules and then we go to today, we're attaching hollow forms. And then you open that up and then I just have a visual. So what you're going to do is cut a rounded shape in the corner of the cube. Okay, then you're going to make a vent hole in the sphere. It doesn't have to be the same size as this cutout right here. It's about the size of your pencil. This will connect the air chambers in the cube to the air chamber in the sphere. We want to make sure that those air chambers are connected so we only have one vent hole in the bottom when we're all done. Here's another angle so you can see the opening. When you cut that circular shape in it, it should just have that sphere kind of nest in that area. This is how big the vent hole needs to be, about the width of a pencil. And then the cutout of the cube should fit the sphere in the space like we talked about. It should be able to just sit in there. And then when you score and slip, use more slip than you think you're gonna need. Remember, it can ooze out and we just clean it with a paintbrush. If you are not done with your texture tile today, I want you to move on to the forms. Again, you have to come outside of class to work on the texture tile. If you don't get to this step today, if you're just hollowing out forms, that's fine. We will continue this tomorrow. I'll be back in class tomorrow.